Welcome to this playthrough of Psychic World, an action platformer of sorts released for the Sega Master system. This game was also released previous to this for the MSX as well, and was kind of downsized for its console ports. It was also released on the Game Gear, but I like this version so far the best, because it's so far the only one I have and that I've played, but I think it's pretty good. So there's a little bit of a story here that's going to loop around. So we'll go through this before we get started here. In a science lab in the middle of nowhere, Dr. Navik does his research on ESP. The twin sisters, Lucia and Cecile, work as his assistants. And don't they look so happy? Cute lab coats, cute lab in general. Oh no, an explosion. One day, a section of the lab blew up. That's quite an explosion, actually. Wow, what was that? Hope Cecile and Dr. Navik are okay. The monsters that we keep for experiments escaped and took Cecile with them. And there she goes on a pterodactyl. Oh no, poor Cecile. Yeah, no kidding, it looks like she's in her jammies flying away there. Wear this ESP booster. It's like a set of headphones, almost like a headset. It'll help you. Yeah, I bet. We're hoping it will anyway. Hang in there, sis. I'll save you. And eyes open and focused on the prize. So off we go here, after our poor sister Cecile, who's being carried away by that terrible winged beast. And what you can kind of see here is, in between each level, we have a little bit of a preamble of sorts that shows you what the level is going to be like, maybe some of the enemies that you'll face, and just gives you a general idea of some of the skills that you might learn. So that's kind of fun. So you can see that we start out the game here with just a little pea shooter of sorts. We only have one ability, and that is right at the bottom left corner of our screen. You can see it's like that little circle with a bunch of other circles inside. And as we get other abilities, we're going to be able to switch between them. So right here you can see that there's a B block. We picked this up, that's just mostly for points. But this one here, this cross, is really a new power that we can use. So it's like an invincibility spell of sorts. So to switch to that, you kind of hold jump and down, and that opens up your menu on the bottom left, and then you can move with the D-pad over to the cross, and you'll see it will turn purple, and that'll leave us invincible for just a few seconds. And you'll see too, we have our ESP bar on the right, on top of our HP bar, and the ESP bar can get used up with certain abilities a little bit, so it's like having MP, essentially, like magic points. Now, every time we pick up another one of the same type of block, like here, this is our second cross, what you'll notice is that the cross power is going to get a little bit better. So it's like an additive effect, where the more of a power-up that you pick up, the better it becomes. So, for example, if we did try out that power again, you would notice that it lasts a little bit longer. Here we have this like atomic-shaped bubbly thing. This replenishes your ESP, and hearts in a bubble replenish your HP. So lots of different things to learn at first, but it gets to be second nature quite quickly. There's also like partial refills on health and partial refills on ESP, or the full ones as well. So the bigger the symbol, the more of a full replenishment it'll be. And if it's the smaller version, it's going to be a partial replenishment instead. So I'm going to try not to get roasted by these hams here. They look like hams to me. I doubt that they're actually hams, but yeah. So we just picked up another circle, so you'll see our pea shooter has increased its distance that it travels, and the icon, or like the little symbol for it, also turned a little bit more white compared to what it was, so it's a little bit different. A little bit stronger now. So this is like our first mid-stage boss of sorts, this angry flower. So we're just going to spam this flower with the only power we've got, which is our will and our desire to save our sister, and pick up another circle. So now you'll see we have 2. We've doubled our pea shooter. So things get a little bit easier as your powers get a little bit stronger. Definitely beneficial. And they do a lot of letting you run free in this game, which is a welcome change to some other games where you have to be very hurry up and wait about it. You know, like Sonic 1 is a great example of hurry up and wait, where you just really want to go fast, but if you do, you're going to die or run into things or have a bad go of it. So yeah, this game at least gives you some room to run once in a while. Speaking of running, if you hold one direction for long enough, you'll end up going into a sprint. And this is good sometimes, but a lot of the time you just really don't want to be sprinting. You know, so you can easily run into enemies you don't want to, or run off of a cliff or a platform, or do something that you don't want to. That's the only gripe I really have with the controls, because it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Sometimes you're just in a place and you really don't want to be running, but then you are, and you can't really do very much about that. So yeah, we also picked up another type of power up there in the top left corner of our little box in the bottom left corner of the screen, and it looks like an infinity sign of sorts, and that just allows you to repeat the level if you want to, voluntarily. This comes in handy in later levels when perhaps you've messed up a puzzle or something like that and you need to go back and start the level over again. It's not really necessary, and more often than not I pick it up, select it by accident, and then I'm left cursing. I'm like, ugh, why did I do that? Then I gotta play the level again. But yeah, it's kind of useful. So we're at our first end level boss, and you might be saying, wow, really? Like, that's it? Yeah, the first level's quite short. So 3-headed beast, and thankfully for us, our weapon also blocks projectiles. So we're just gonna spam away at this guy too, and hope that we don't die. And we just picked up another power-up that's called cooldown, and it'll come in handy in the next stage.